valley of the shadow of death. I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. Cause I've been blasting and laughing so long that even my mama thinks that my mind is gone. But I ain't never crossed a man that didn't deserve it. Me be treated like a punk, you know that's unheard of. You better watch how you're talking and where you're walking, or you and your homies might be lying in chalk. I really hate the trip, but I gotta low. As they croak, I see myself in the pistol smoke. Fool, I'm the kind of G the little homies wanna be like, on my knees in the night, saying prayers in the street light.
Been spending most of their lives living in the gangster's paradise. We've been spending most of their lives living in the gangster's paradise. We keep spending most of our lives living in the gangster's paradise. We keep spending most of our lives living in the gangster's paradise.
Look at the situation they got me facing. I can't live a normal life. I was raised by the state, so I gotta be down with the hood team. Too much television watching got me chasing dreams. I'm an educated fool with money on my mind. Got my 10 in my hand and a gleam in my eye. I'm a loped out gangster, set tripping banker, and my homies is down, so don't arouse my anger. Fool, death ain't nothing but a heartbeat away. I'm living life, do or die. What can I say? I'm 23 now, but will I live to see 24? The way things is going, I don't know.
Tell me why are we so blind to see that the ones we hurt are you and me? Been spending most of their lives living in the gangster's paradise. We've been spending most of their lives living in the gangster's paradise. We keep spending most of our lives living in the gangster's paradise. We keep spending most of our lives living in the gangster's paradise.
Power and the money, money and the power. Minute after minute, hour after hour, everybody's running, but half of them ain't looking what's going on in the kitchen. But I don't know what's cooking. They say I got to learn, but nobody's here to teach me. If they can't understand it, how can they reach me? I guess they can't, I guess they won't, I guess they front. That's why I know my life is out of luck, fool.
Yeah, happy Friday. A little bit of ghetto jam? We might have to listen to that. I got something for you else in a minute, though.
Regulators. We regulate any stealing of his property. We're damn good, too. But you can't be any geek off the street. Gotta be handy with the steel, if you know what I mean. Earn your keep.
Regulators! Mount up!
It was a clear black night, a clear white moon. Warren G was on the streets trying to consume some skirts for the E, so I could get some phones. Rolling in my ride, chilling all alone.
Just hit the east side of the LBC on a mission trying to find Mr. Warren G. Seen a car full of girls, ain't no need to tweak. All of you search know what's up with 213.
So I hooked a left on 21 and Lewis. Some brothers shooting dice, so I said, let's do this. I jumped out the ride and said, what's up? Some brothers pulled some gas, so I said, I'm promise.
These girls peeping me, I'm gonna glide and swerve. These hookers looking so hard, they straight hit the curve. Want to bigger, better things than some horny tricks. I see my homie and some suckers all in his mix.
I'm getting jacked, I'm breaking myself. I can't believe they taking Warren's wealth. They took my rings, they took my Rolex. I looked at the brother, said, damn, what's next?
They got my homie hemmed up and they all around. Can't none of them see him if they going straight pound for pound. They wanna come up real quick before they start to clown. I best pull out my strap and lay them busters down.
They got guns to my head, I think I'm going down. I can't believe it's happening in my own town. If I had wings, I would fly. Let me contemplate. I glance in the cut.
And I see my homie Nate.
16 in the clip and 1 in the hole. Nate Dogg is about to make some bodies turn cold. Now they dropping and yelling, it's a tad bit late. Nate Dogg and Warren G had to regulate. I let my gat explode. Now I'm switching my mind back into freak mode. If you won't skirt, sit back and observe. I just left a gang of those over there on the curb.
Now they got the freaks, and that's a known fact. Before I got jacked, I was on the same track. Back up, cause it's on N-A-T-E and me, the woman to the G.
Just like I thought, they were in the same spot, in need of some desperate help.
The Nate Dogg and the G-Child were in need of something else.
One of them names was sexy as hell. I said, ooh, I like your size. She said my chords broke down and just sing real nice.
Would you let me ride?
I got a car full of girls and it's going real swell. The next stop is the East Side Motel.
I'm tweaking into a whole new era. G-Funk, step to this, I dare ya. Funk on a whole new level. The rhythm.
Yeah, I think that's right, Nature Boy. Yeah.
Chords, strings, we brings melody. G-Funk, where rhythm is life and life is rhythm.
If you know like I know, you don't want to step to this. It's the G-Funk era.
I don't know who the Hammering is.
If you smoke like I smoke, then
But anybody's welcome to call in and give me an earful.
and if your ass is up,
But anybody who gives me an earful is going to get a mouthful back.
you late.
Hammered, bro. All right, this is a quick request from our boy Nature Boy. Let's see here.
My brain's been fogged.
As the tune starts to loop with a fat track for me, yeah. 1, 2, 3, and this is OJ, the great switch to move your pretty, yeah. They got
Mr. Duggar.
about to slam with some notes from the nigga, as I keep what's really going on with your reminiscing, A Saturday morning, just getting up with the hangover, smelling like I fucked. I really can't remember cause I'm still kinda faded. So I close my eyes and thank God.
No, I don't drive submarines.
I'm getting flashbacks of some OJ with the green glasses, Tangeray, took it to the head.
And I don't have a PS4. So there is that.
So I can handle my business. Whether you know, I freaks and vibrates. Though I on the flow, stuck it in a tape. She's screaming and she's screaming and she's screaming, getting hoarse. But the numbers that are nothing, that was that, so kick the chorus. Here we go, as the tune starts to blow with a
Plus, I'm not a grown man who plays video games. I leave that up to Colby and Tiger Baskins.
This is OJ, the breaks with the yes. The ghetto jam is about to slam with some notes from the nigga. As I keep what's really going on with your reminiscence. My homies are down, chilling
chillin' in the hood, but them hood bitches, well, they ain't no good to the other man. Well, she might be some good cat, but homies in the hood label her as a hood rat. She's scandalous, so those with game can fuck. And ooh, she'll clown your ass real fast if you're quick to love. But when you're in that thing, she'll make a nigga sing. Dabum dway, dabum dway, dabum dway.
Come here, tell him what you just told me. Pete Jr. just came in here all weepy-eyed. What'd you tell them what you just told me?
There's an armadillo in the front yard.
There's an armadillo? You sit outside?
Yeah, outside in the front yard.
You said he was chasing you? Did you tell him that Papa Pete was going to take care of business? He really did. He legit just came in here and started crying because there was an armadillo outside. Hey.
My homies clowning in this gold yellow Chevy. 2 OG to be dropped. Kenwood's kicking that funk in the trunk. Clean with the rag on top.
The armadillo knows what time Pete's show starts. That's the only time he comes out. Hey, tell that armadillo I'll see him later. Yeah.
So I approached the freak of the week and I played it like a game of blackjack. And for all that ass that she told it around, well, I offered a backpack. And since I'm a Mac, well, you know how the story goes. So all your hoes and Negroes, here we go. Here we go, here we go. Where the tunes want to go with a bad track for the game. 1, 2, 3, if this is out G, the breaks with you, move your pretty ass. The ghetto jam is about to slam with some notes from the diggity. As I keep what's really going on with the reminisce with me. Here we go, where the tunes want to go.
Well, he was scared as hell.
1, 2, 3, if this is out G, the breaks with you, move your pretty ass. The ghetto jam is about to slam with some notes from the diggity. As I keep what's really going on with the reminisce with me. Here we go, where the tunes want to go with a bad track for the game.
All right. Let's get the show on the road. All right, what is up, everybody? It is your boy, Pigskin Pete. Welcome to the Friday night call-in show that I do every single Wednesday and Friday night at 10 p.m. Right here on the Pigskin Pete YouTube channel. If you want to call in and be a part of the show, it's very, very easy. Trust me. Have you seen some of the people who have called into the show over the years? There's a link to the StreamYard in the description of the video. It's also being posted in the chat periodically by myself and your boy, Nightbot. Excuse me. How's everyone doing? The end to another week. 1 week closer. 1 week closer to the game that we all love, the game of college football. We are nearing the end of talking season. And judging from some of the YouTube videos I've seen over the past couple of weeks, I think we are at peak delusion right now, which is nothing new to the college football community, especially right here on YouTube. So if you want to call in and share your delusional thoughts with me, it's very easy. Click that StreamYard link. If you want to support the show and keep the show going year-round, there's many ways you can do it. There's a membership option. If you want to become a member, I think it's like $3 a month. During the season, I do exclusive game streams for the members only. I did sort of a test run with that last year, and it went amazing and fantastic. Now, YouTube... They have some things they had to work out with the membership-only private streams, but I think I got it figured out, and hopefully they got it figured out too. Also, I'll be doing some giveaways this year for the members from the Pigskin Pete store, and maybe some other giveaways too. We'll see. I had a chance tonight to go out to dinner and meet our favorite tater man from a foreign land, Volusia Orange. That's right. Our buddy Volusia is in South Carolina. Not only is he in South Carolina, he's in Summerville, South Carolina, or actually more like Goose Creek. But anyway, he's only about 10 minutes away from me. So I went and scooped him up. We went out, got a bite to eat, and had a beer together. Super nice guy, which we already knew that. And I believe tomorrow he's headed downtown Charleston. And then he's headed tomorrow night down to his old stomping grounds where he came from in Daytona, Florida. So it was good to see him. Maybe he'll call in tonight. I don't know. He's got a long day tomorrow, and I know he's been traveling all day, so he might be tired. I don't know. Let's get to the chat here real quick. Let's see who's in here. All the peeps. And then we will get right to the phone calls. I've learned over the years that nobody is here to look at my ugly face or listen to me ramble on for 2 hours. They're only here to hear you and my reaction to you. Matt Dummett is here. Kevron Harris. Nate the Great. The Nature Boy. Atypical Gump. Stingray. Jay Shipes. CJ. Bulldog JC. Says, hit the like button, everyone. Yeah, hit the like button. YouTube cares. They really care a lot. There's Volusia in the chat. Balin Gardner. Ever listen to old Peete Pablo? Yes, of course. I actually got a chance to see him. He was one of the secondary acts for a concert that I went to. Peete Pablo from North Carolina. Stand up, take your shirt off, raise it around your head, spin it like a helicopter and all that. You know what I mean? Where are we at here? Hoghead. Hairy leg. You know, as opposed to shaved leg. Jeremy Garrettson. The Uncle Lou. Reminder that Bama lost to the only two good teams they played last year. And their best win was against a 5-loss team. And that's why they didn't make the playoffs. Well, I don't know if we need a reminder. Maybe Alabama fans needed reminders of that. I didn't need a reminder, but thank you for reminding me. Mr. Duggar Fishing says, greeting Earthlings. Mr. Duggar loves everybody, and everybody loves Mr. Duggar, including me. K-Dog. BC Georgia Tech Jackets. John Serrain, Wet Blanket. Joey Foster. John Doman. Armadillos ain't got no teeth. Yeah, I heard, well, I didn't know that. I heard that they have small mouths, they can't bite you. Either way. I don't want leprosy and all that, so. Yeah, but Pete Jr. was legit scared. He walked up here, he had tears in his eyes, and I was about to start the show. I said, what's wrong? He said, there's an armadillo out front. I said, yeah? I said, well, why are you so upset about it? He said, it chased me, which is bullshit. I know that's bullshit. Ain't no armadillo chasing anybody. They're scared as hell.
That is bullshit! That is bullshit!
Oh, man. Ballard Sports Media. Big Vol Daddy is here. He says, I'm not dead. Well, that's good. I can't tell you how happy I am that you're not dead. Thank you, Nature Boy, for gifting a membership. Who got the membership? Oh, Jay Shipes got it. Look at you, Jay. The newest join member. I feel like Jay has been the luck. Whatever the PigskinPeete membership lotto is, this guy's like, he hits it every time. I swear Jay Shipes has had a membership for the past 2 years and and he's not paid for a single one of them. D. Taylor, welcome to the Pete Army. I don't know if that's a thing. GF Sports, what's up? What's up? Mayhem Matthew. Ghost Striker. Where's the balloon? What balloon? Did I see the little girl that was attacked by a raccoon? No, I didn't. That sounds like midday show material, though. Is there a video of it? All right. Enough of that. All right, let's see who's on the phone lines here. Again, if you want to call in and be a part of the show, the StreamYard link is in the description of the video. Of course, I'll take these in the order that they came in, like usual. What's up? You're on with Pete.
What's up, Pete? It's Ballard. How you doing, bro?
What's up, Ballard? How you doing, buddy?
Not much, man. Just counting down the days till football season, man. It's going by, honestly, kind of quickly for me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I will say that it does seem like that this offseason has gone by a little faster than years past. I don't know. Of course it hasn't. I mean, time is time. But it does feel that way, yeah. I mean, we're only, I think we were talking, me and Volusia were talking about that tonight. Just a little over 2 months left. What was it, like 9 weeks?
9 weeks. Sounds about right.
Oh, 9 weeks until week 0. 10 weeks until, our favorite teams. I don't know. When is Alabama's first game?
Football. Same week as Clemson's and Georgia's and everybody else's, Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, Labor Day weekend. First week of September. That's another conversation that me and Volusia had.
Of course, we open with a cupcake and...
He was explaining to me, and I do happen to agree with him.
What's that?
He was saying how he's not excited for the first 3 weeks of the season. And I said, do tell. What do you mean by that? And he's got a point, I got to say. He says, the opening game for Clemson, do you know who they play on opening week? Don't look it up. Just say no if you don't know. Huh? Yeah, Duke. It's at Duke, and it's on a Monday night. So his point was Clemson has nothing to gain other than winning the game 55-7, right? I don't know where they're going to be ranked when the AP poll comes out, but in most rankings right now, they are outside of the top 10 to start the season, and justifiably so. I'm not saying that they should be ranked in the top 10, but if you're Clemson, how your schedule, because of the teams that you play every year, how your schedule sets up does matter when it comes down to the end of the season. Now, luckily, they have two of their tougher games, in my opinion, towards the end of the season. And we all know the end of the season matters a lot more than the beginning in the playoff era, especially the 4-team playoff era.
Yeah.
But for the first 4 weeks, week 4, we play Florida State. But the first 3 weeks, we got to go on the road at Duke. And let's say Clemson goes out there and beats Duke by 14 points, they'll fall in the rankings right off the rip. So let's say they come in the season, just hypothetically, let's say they come in in the AP at around 12 or 13 to start the season. They go in at Duke and they only win by 14 points. Now, I don't know what's going to happen. For all I know, they might just blow them off the map, and it might be over by the half. I don't know. But the perception around the country is that Duke's no good, right? It's Duke. And so if they don't go out there and blow them out, they'll fall in the first week. Their next 2 games after Duke are, throwaway games, cupcake games. And then after that, their week 4 game is against Florida State, right? Which is one of the biggest games they have of the year. So my point is that they don't have, in the first 3 weeks of the season, they don't have a whole lot to gain. They can only really drop. I mean, because even if you beat Duke by 5 touchdowns, that's not necessarily going to raise you in the rankings. So you could see a situation going into week 4 where Clemson is behind the 8 ball, and God forbid they lose against Florida State. Then they're really screwed. Then it's an uphill battle. Then they have to put on some kind of crazy show for the next 8 weeks to have a chance to make the playoffs. Now, again, like I said, for all I know, Clemson goes out there and beats the shit out of Duke, and they look good, and they skate through the next 2 weeks, and then they beat Florida State. Then they'll be fine. But it's an uphill battle for them right now based on the perception of them over the last 2 seasons. And all the expectations that come along with Garrett Riley coming in to the program.
Yeah. I think you guys will be okay, man. I know that there's perception about like the ACC, and I've heard you on this channel, talk about how it. I don't know if you've said it like pisses you off or whatever when people make fun of the ACC and Clemson's schedule and stuff like that, but you guys, it'll be interesting the first couple of weeks of the season and everything, but. And speaking of schedules too, I mean, Alabama, I guess gets it kind of easy to start out. You open up with Middle Tennessee, then we play Texas at home. We play USF, then we get Ole Miss at home. So, I mean, what would you take from what I just gave you about Alabama and their start?
So who's their first couple of games against? I know they got to have one cupcake game in there.
They got Middle Tennessee State.
Right.
Texas at home.
Yeah.
USF on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ole Miss if you want to look at the first month.
So it's pretty similar to Clemson, actually.
It is.
You have one real test in the first 4 weeks, and that will be Texas. The difference is, though, Texas is going to be ranked probably in the top 10, definitely in the top 15. Duke's not.
Yeah.
But, of course, Florida State, if they get through their first few games, if both Clemson and Florida State go into week 4, that's the pivotal game of the season for the Tigers, is that week 4 game against Florida State. But they can't really slip up between now and then. And somebody in the chat just said Taters are scared of Duke. No, nobody's scared of Duke. It doesn't matter. That's my whole point, is that they can beat them by 2 or 3 touchdowns, but then people be going like, oh, look, Clemson's, they only won by 3 touchdowns. Like Duke's a team that somebody with the expectation of Clemson has to go out week 1, by the way, and absolutely destroy. Otherwise, people will be, It's college football is not about who's best. It's about perception, especially early in the year. It's all about perception.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I did have a question for you tonight, though, if that's okay. So I was kind of going through looking at recruiting and stuff for Alabama, and it's kind of cool some of the names that are on our team. You got Kool-Aid McKinstry, and you have Dallas Turner and stuff like that. My question is, and we got like this guy coming in this year, and his name is Sterling Dixon. The question that I have for you is, in all your years as a Clemson fan, what's the coolest name that you've ever heard come through the program? Like the coolest sounding name that you've ever heard for a player?
For a Clemson player?
Yeah.
And
you can't say just Deshaun Watson.
No, I wouldn't say that anyway. I like the name Vic Beasley.
Vic Beasley.
Like he could be,
I remember him.
Yeah, Falcons fans remember him too. I like the name Vic Beasley. You know what might be the best one? Well, at least in recent years. I mean, you can go. It depends on how far back you want to go.
Right.
Ray McLeod.
Ray.
Now, come on now. Ray.
Yeah.
Maybe
What's
that.
up, Ray?
I am a little bit biased though, because my middle name is Raymond, so he's Ray.
Okay.
I have to sit back and think about that. Sammy Watkins is also another good one.
It is.
Of course, Refrigerator Perry, but that's a nickname, not a real name.
What was his actual name?
You know what? I know it, and I can't think of it now.
I'm going to Google it.
Yeah, it's... Yeah, William. Thank you. William Perry.
Okay.
But refrigerator sounds way cooler. Yeah, that's a good one, John. John Serrain says Banks McFadden. Yeah, that's off. That's great. There's no. I mean, how many guys are named Banks?
Yeah. I'm just glad you didn't say Peter Woods.
Well, that might be the current coolest name. Although I do like Barrett Carter. That's cool. You don't see that many Barretts out there.
Yeah. I made a joke about Peter Wood. It was cool that I got to get a picture with him and stuff, but I remember Uncle Lou was talking one day and making fun of a guy named Peter on Clemson, and I just thought that was funny.
Let's do some of the best names in football, though. I know there's a list of current players, but if you go throughout history, who is that said that? Oh, Volusia, that's a great one. Ha Clinton Dix.
I love that name. Yes, sir. He was a good player, too.
Yeah. He was a great player in college and the NFL.
Yeah. Who was he with? The Packers?
Yeah, he played for the Packers for the majority of his NFL career, yeah.
Yeah. Juju Smith-Schuster.
Juju Smith-Schuster. Is it just me, or have the names gotten a little bit crazier as the decades have gone on? You know.
Yeah. Like, I mean, now I know he's Samoan, but like Tua. I think it's still kind of a cool name, but
what's cooler though, Tua or Tulia?
Tulia.
Yeah.
I don't know. Both of them are Tagovailoas, so.
What's the? A lot of the Samoan names are cool.
Yeah.
Junior Seau, that's a good one.
Nico Amamaliva.
What? I'm a believer.
The guy coming in for Tennessee.
What's his Journey? Don't Stop Believing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Cavassier Smoke. Gunnar Stockton.
Oh, I'll give you which one?
Jay said Gunnar Stockton. Yeah, Gunnar's a good one. Mercury Morris.
Yeah.
I don't even know who that is.
Auburn had a player a couple years ago. He actually picked off Mac Jones in the 19 Iron Bowl. Check this name out, Pete. Smoke Monday.
Yeah, I've heard that one too. Yeah, Tank Bigsby.
That's a good one.
Remember that one?
Tank
Bigsby.
Tank.
B Bean says Tank Carter. I don't know who that. I remember Tank Bigsby though. Phil McCracken.
Phil McCracken.
OU had a defensive player's name named I'm Gonna Get You. Hey, who was the kicker? Damn. I'm gonna forget this now.
Who for?
Well, I don't know who he played for in college. Just recently in the NFL, though. Oh, man. I'm having a total brain fart right now.
Does he still play?
Oh, hold on. How about LSU's Keyshawn Booty?
Yes, sir. That's a good
Booty.
one, too. Nate in the private chat says Rodrigo.
Rodrigo Blankenship.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good name, too.
I'll be honest, even though he kind of screwed Alabama, I like the last name Ringo. Keely Ringo's got a good name.
Thank you, Volusia. He read my mind. The pit kicker, Chris Blewett. Now, that has got to be the worst last name for a kicker ever in the history of football. Because every time it didn't matter. Like he could miss a 50-yard kick in the first quarter when it didn't even matter, and they were up by 30 points. Oh, he blew it. Look at blew it over there again. Blew it. You blew it. I mean, imagine all the shit he got in the locker room. Last name blew it.
There's a guy on Oklahoma. I can't make this up. His name's General Booty. You can't write that.
Yeah, Tiki Barber's a good one too. Tiki. Lawyer Malloy.
Nate DeGray said. Nate said Sarah Fuller.
Jesus Christ. That's another one. That's Golden good, Tate.
Yeah.
Yeah, Harrison Butker. He still plays.
Sterling Shepard. Wasn't that a player?
Yes. There's a lot of Sterlings, though.
Yes. Yeah.
Rob Gronkowski, I don't know. The last name Gronkowski is good, but I don't know about, I mean, they should have come up with a better, more interesting first name than Robert. You know?
Right.
Brandon Spikes. Boomer Esiason. Yeah. Ironically, he is a boomer now. Yes, a lot of these names do sound like racehorse names. You know how they give the racehorses like weird names? Like Seabiscuit.
Seabiscuit.
Sky Moore.
Sky Moore, yeah.
Taz Knockham.
NFL names of all time. I'm going to pull up this
Let's do coaches. What are some of the best coach names? Now, it could be whatever, NFL or college. I got one. You ready?
John Gruden.
Dabo Swinney. Yabo Dabo Doo.
Where that boy at?
Dabo, that boy. Yeah, that boy Swinney.
Oh, here's a football name. He's a cornerback. He plays for the Bears. Prince Amukamara.
Yeah.
Prince, dude. He's literally named after a great singer.
Jim Bob Cooter. Oh, shit.
I want to know who came up with the name Jimbo.
You know, Mario Cristobal sounds like he's like some sort of like cocaine kingpin. You know what I mean? Like Mario Cristobal sounds like he could have been in Scarface. I'm about to go meet Mario Cristobal.
Silence. Thank you. Well, the first name is normal, but the last name Ogeron.
Yeah, that's Edward Orgeron.
Actually, I heard on the Paul Feinbaum show one time a caller call in. He was an LSU fan, and he said it's actually pronounced Ogeron. So it's like the N on the end of the name is silent.
Yeah, that's a good one. Jeff Saturday.
Jeff Saturday.
Yeah, both a player and, of course, a coach. Well, briefly, anyway. Briefly a coach. My name is Mario Cristobal. You killed my father. Prepare to die. How about Jimbo? Jimbo Fisher. Jesus, is there a more country name in all of football than Jimbo Fisher? No. I can't think of one.
The name Gus?
Look, if anybody that names you automatically when somebody if you meet somebody and you say, "Hey, my name is Joe," right? That's what I would say to somebody. "Hey, my name is Joe. What's your name? Nice to meet you." "My name's Jimbo." Well, you already know. They're either from Alabama or West Virginia. That's the only two states that anybody named Jimbo comes from.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I said Dabo Swinney already. Lyle Jones.
Wow. Jones.
Oh, man. All right, well, Ballard, I got to move on with the calls, man. Anything else you got for us? Now's your time.
Nah, man, just I enjoy like yours and Lou's call-in shows, man. It's really helping us kill time in the off season, so we appreciate you guys.
Yeah, well, thank you. Just killing time over here. That's what we're doing. All right, buddy. Well, thanks for the call. I'll talk to you again soon, I'm sure.
Thanks.
All right. See you later, Ballard. Ballard checking in. Honey Badger's a nickname, though. What's up? You're on with Pete.
What's up, man?
Hey, look who it is.
Look who it is. Good to see you, man.
Yeah.
It was great hanging out with you today, bub.
Yeah, man. Everybody, this is Tater Man in his homeland, Volusia Orange.
Indeed.
Yeah. I would like to go ahead. Of course, I already congratulated you in person, but I would also like to go ahead and congratulate you on the interwebs for getting married this week. Now, I know you've already been married in China, but
yes,
now it's official. It's been on American soil.
On American soil, official. We did the thing and tied the knot again, tied it tighter than it was tied before. So.
He did the thing.
Yeah.
Well, the most important thing was you got some family to be there, because I know whenever you got married in China, you didn't. When did you get married in China? What year was that?
It was right before Christmas. Right before Christmas of last year.
Yeah. So it hasn't even been a year yet.
Right, yeah. When we did it in China, we just kind of had the paper signing. We'll do a proper Chinese wedding later on this year. But, I wanted to have my my family members and friends on stateside being a part of this. And so we had one about 6 days ago.
Yeah.
And, now it's double tied, and it'll be triple tied by the end of the year.
I would like to say he showed me some pictures of the wedding. Now, stop me. I don't want if you don't want any of this information getting out. I won't say it. I don't think it's a secret though. They drove it. Well, they flew into New York and then they drove to New Hampshire, where he has family. I believe his grandparents live there. Anyway, they had the wedding up there. People came in. He showed me some pictures. It looked like a beautiful wedding, and you have a beautiful bride too.
Appreciate that.
So
I like her as well.
I'm sure you do. So I already talked to you about all this, but let all the people know exactly what your Chinese family, your in-laws and whatnot, think about the States.
Well, they've had a great time. They are open-minded people, even though it's their first time over here. And, it's been a little bit of getting used to in terms of the food, just in as much as it was getting used to the food a little bit the first time I went to China, right, as you might imagine. But overall, man, I'm trying to show them the best of what our country has to offer. We did the lobster and everything up in the Northeast. We did New York's finest fare. We did crabs in Baltimore. Showed them around Philadelphia. Showed them around Washington. Stopped in Richmond for some good fare. And then now we're down here in South Carolina. And we're going to go down to Florida and keep the party going.
Awesome.
So they're thrilled. They're happy to be here, and I'm happy to have them here, happy to be their host, and I'm just happy to be back. It's been too long since I was back in the States. I know that I criticize my own country, and I'll criticize any country. I don't care, but I'm still an American at the end of the day, and I'm really happy to be back, even if it's temporary.
Yeah, don't let it be another 4 years before you come back, though.
Well, no more pandemics, and we'll be all right.
Well, I don't want to be Slim Shady here, but you never know. Next year there might be one. So,
pray tell there's not.
No,
it didn't go well for any of us. But yeah, you already know. I'll leave the unsaid. You already know.
Yeah, a lot of what we talked about tonight, I'll keep to myself. You know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Listen.
It was great.
Yeah, it was really great to meet you. And hang out with you. Even though we only got to hang out for a couple of hours, it was still great.
For sure, and I appreciate Pete gave me some travel advice on Charleston. You know, I've been here before, but it's been many, many years. And as a native Charlestonian, Pete gave me some good advice about where to take my family tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, and you know, you're only going to be there for the afternoon. It's you can spend a lot more than one day in Charleston, but I hope whatever advice I gave you is I have a feeling that if you go where I told you to go, I think that you'll enjoy yourself, and I think that your family will enjoy themselves.
For sure, you know, for them it's a combination of tourist sites. You know, they're tourists, and I mean I'm a tourist at the end of the day as well, and then seeing some historical stuff and also getting the vibe of the city. You know, for them, it's a lot of comparing the different cities we've been to up north and the Northeast and down the Mid-Atlantic and everything else, and kind of giving them a taste of at least the East Coast of the U.S. this trip, and you know, the differences between the cities and the differences between the sort of the cultures and the cuisines and everything like that. So I'm kind of their tour guide, but you know, even though I haven't lived in all these places, I'm trying to get the best information I can and share my experiences with them as well. So.
Yeah. Lou says the pineapple fountain. I did tell him about the pineapple fountain.
Yes.
Well, first of all, I had to explain to him because I was wearing this shirt whenever we got up, right? And he was like, "That's a hell of a Hawaiian shirt." I said, "Oh, no. That is not a Hawaiian shirt. This is a Charleston shirt." And I told
my next comment was, "Isn't the pineapple a symbol of swingers?" And apparently, that's an upside down pineapple. I don't know.
Yeah, and he told me there was some upside down pineapples on this thing. I don't know. Is there? Let me see here.
On the back.
Yeah. Oh, look, there's one right there. Yeah, he's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, the pineapple is a symbol of gratuity, and it's sort of a Charleston symbol. I mean, maybe just a Southern thing. I don't know. But there is a giant pineapple fountain downtown. You'll see it. You'll see a lot of pineapples when you're down there. Believe me.
Yeah.
But
well, fucking hell, man! Now it's thunder, lightning, and pouring down rain. So we got back home just in time, didn't we?
We did. Before I move on to another caller, let's talk a little bit of Clemson football. I haven't talked to you since last week, and there's been a lot going on. Is there anything that you have to say? We got a couple of, well, not just a couple, 3 or 4 big commits just in the past 10 days or so. I believe they have one more big official visit for a group of guys. Clemson does things, well, everybody knows Clemson does things a little bit differently than a lot of these other big universities, but they cram all of their official visits into like a 3 or 4 week period during the summer. They don't have, like, a lot of schools have a lot more guys coming and going, but they sort of cram it into a 3 or 4 week period through less visits. And I think this coming weekend, tomorrow and Sunday, they're doing their last hoorah for the 2024 class. So, any thoughts on that?
I expect to see some fruits of that. I think that it's likely, as has been the case over the last almost since Dabo's become the coach, that we've jumped out to a hot start in recruiting, and then in most of those years, other teams have quote unquote caught up to us. And there have been years where we finished in the top 2 or 3, and years where we finished, in the teens or whatever. And obviously that hasn't really been directly correlated to our success in the field. I mean, we've had, over the past, during Dabo's tenure, let's call it, over the past dozen years or so, we've always sort of ended up in the low single digits to the high double digits, and that's fine. I mean, I don't expect us to out-recruit Georgia or Alabama on a regular basis. And I don't think we need to do that to compete with them and beat them on the field. I think Dabo's, as we all know, I'm not saying anything that people don't know already, but Dabo's recruiting approach is more pointed and direct, more high efficiency in terms of the offers and business that we do. And I trust him on that. I don't think that the fact that we didn't win the national championship the last 2 years is reason to doubt his recruiting prowess or his process. Now, we can complain about the transfer portal, and I agree with that. I think we need to compete on a level playing field with our rivals in the SEC and in our own conference. But look, I mean, I trust him implicitly still, and I think, the recent rash of commitments has shown that we still have the ability to sign highly rated recruits that other SEC schools want. And, I'm just looking forward to seeing what happens this season. I think we're going to see some good results. I'm not, I'm far away from being pessimistic and complaining about that vote at this point. That's all.
Did you hear me tell them about your theory about the beginning of the season, which I agree with, by the way?
Yes, I did hear that. You do. Yeah. I mean, look, I hate the game. I hate that we're playing Duke. Look,
I do too.
I mean, Duke is a 9-1 team. Now, I know they're Duke. That's the problem, right? They're better than we envisioned Duke to be. They're certainly better than anyone outside the ACC expects Duke to be or understands Duke to be.
That doesn't even matter, though.
That doesn't mean I'm afraid. Right, it doesn't matter at all, right? Because look, I'm not afraid of Duke, and I don't envision that we lose to them. But as you said, if we only beat them by 14 or 17 points, then that's a failure. Well, I don't agree with that, right? I mean, Duke's better than Missouri, and Georgia only beat Missouri by 6 points last year. Now, of course, look, I don't like the spot. I think it sucks. But, we should beat the hell out of Duke. But even if we beat them by 10 points, I'm going to be fine with that because it's the first game of the season. All right? The only negative outcome in my mind is if we lose to them. Right?
You know what, though? I would rather, because we've seen this, I don't know, at least half of the times in the past 7 or 8 years, right?
Yeah.
We've seen Clemson play a top 10 team half of the years out of the past, like 5 out of the last 10 years. And usually, if you look at both championship years, I'd have to go back. Who did they play opening game in 2016? 15, 16, 17, 18, those years.
All right. 16, I want to say. 18, we played Furman in the opener and blasted them.
Right.
16, I want to say we were at Auburn in the first game of 16, and we won a close one.
Yes.
And then actually the second game of 16, we were at home against Troy, and that was a close game too.
Yeah. I don't like the mid-tier opening games, especially on the road.
Yeah.
It's like you say, what does Clemson have to gain out of playing Duke on the road week 1? Nothing, other than blowing them out 55-7.
This is, in my mind, disrespect from the ACC. Like, why are they making us do this? Like, why? We played Georgia Tech at home on Labor Day last year. Okay, fine. Everyone knew we were going to beat Georgia Tech, and we struggled a bit early, but we ended up blowing them out. Okay, fine. But even if Clemson put up an F performance against Georgia Tech at home, we were still going to win that game. But if we put up a proper F performance, we might not beat Duke. Now, I don't expect that. If we put up a C- performance, we should still beat them by 2 scores. But why? Why do we have to play Duke on the? I just don't like it. And again, there's no excuses here, and there's no fear. But I'm just saying, as it's not a good spot. I don't. Like you said, Pete, what the hell do we have to gain from this?
Hey, Hammer and Hoosier, I got you in a minute. When I get off, you're the next caller. But yeah, I just feel like there's only one way it could go good for Clemson in the first 3 weeks, and that's if they blow Duke out of the water. Everything else is just going to be,
Yeah.
And it's not Clemson's fault.
It's got to be. No, it's got to be at least a 30-plus point win on the road in a spot where everyone's watching, in a spot where Duke is fired up and where Clemson is not. It's just, I just don't.
The only thing I would say is I do think that with the
SEC, what? Go ahead, Pete. Sorry.
I was gonna say with the coordinator change, I do think they will be fired up. I do. But that's the only reason I think.
Could you imagine the SEC? Could you imagine the SEC putting Georgia or Alabama or LSU in a season opener on the road against, I don't know, Mississippi State or Kentucky, right? Kentucky is a good analog, I feel like. Could you imagine the SEC scheduling Georgia or Alabama to play their season opener on the road against Kentucky? I just can't see that. And I don't, it's a no-win situation. I don't like it.
It doesn't surprise me that the majority of the people in the comment section, they keep talking about Clemson is worried about Duke. You haven't been listening to the conversation. I don't understand what you're hearing. I say one thing, you hear another. It's like the telephone game, except there's no telephone. Nobody's worried about Duke. You're missing the entire point. No, look, I'll be the first one to tell you if they were to go out, nobody in Clemson, South Carolina, or a Clemson fan is worried about Duke. The point is, if they don't beat them by 4 or 5 scores, like Volusia said, then the perception is that Clemson's no good. And if you get behind,
right,
it's like you said. I don't know. Where do you think Clemson's going to be ranked in the AP coming into the season? 12th, 13th, 11th? Somewhere between 11 and 15.
My guess is going to be between 10 and 13 would be my guess.
Okay, so 11, 12-ish. If they go out there and beat Duke on week 1 on the road on a Monday night, nonetheless, that's another thing I don't like is the Monday night deal. If it was a Monday night in Death Valley, it'd be different. But Monday night in Duke, that's just it's a no-win situation for the Tigers. Anything less than completely destroying them is just not good enough for anybody. Now, for me, I don't care. A win's a win at the end of the season.
I don't care, Pete. Again, and we agreed on this. If we beat them 27-22, I'm fine with that. But the country, quote unquote, is not going to be fine with that, right?
Yeah, and that's all that matters.
Right, and so look.
My point is, you can win a game and still be behind the 8 ball. In week 1, we're not talking about now. Look, if Clemson went on the road and played Duke in week 10 and struggled, I get that. So my point is that Clemson doesn't have a choice other than going out there and wiping the floor with the Dukies is a bad perception in the nation's eyes.
Right, let's say we start number 12. All right, throw a number. We're preseason number 12, and we go out there and we beat Duke. I don't know what do you think the score is going to be? I'll throw out. Let's say we beat Duke 41.
What do you think they're favored 17. They're only favored by 11.5.
Okay, well, I would bet some money on
11.5.
Let's say we win the game. Let's say we win the game 38-17. Okay, covering the 11.5 easily, right? Are we going to move up in the rankings because we beat Duke?
Well, first of all, anybody in the chat right now who wants to make, and I've said, here's the other thing too. This is the thing about YouTube. People love to go in the comment section and say all kinds of crazy shit, right? But whenever it comes to putting your money where your mouth is, 90% of these motherfuckers don't want to do it. So the line is 11.5. If anybody wants to take that line, I'll give it to you right now. Right now.
Yeah, let's go.
Clemson by 11.5. I'll take it. Does anybody want it?
Yep.
And I'm looking at the chat right now. I'll be watching it. But I guarantee you, no. Nobody wants it. They just want to come in the comment section and say that they won't do that. But when it comes to betting on it, they won't bet me. It's a very funny thing that people do.
Yeah. But no, Pete, we're scared though.
Well, they're scared. They won't bet me.
Yeah.
They won't give Clemson 11.5. Or they won't let Clemson give Duke 11.5.
Come on. $100, $50, $20, whatever you want. Let's go. American dollars. Come on, right now. Anybody? I'm looking.
Yeah, Law Tide bet me. You didn't bet me on Clemson, though. You bet me on Georgia and Alabama. And I told you, Law Tide, after that game, I'm never betting on Georgia again, so don't worry about it, bro. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Clemson.
So who's got Duke plus 11.5? Who's got that?
Nobody. Well, everybody does until they have to actually bet it. Then nobody does. It's funny.
Right. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
Anyways, Pete, look, I'm going to let you get to the next caller. It was really good to meet you in person today, and I hope to see you soon, man. And hey, Cheers, buddy.
All right, cheers to you too, man. Safe travels tomorrow, and of course, safe travels back to China.
Appreciate it, bub.
All right, see you later, buddy.
Take care. Hey.
Go Tigers. Volusia. My man. What is up? You're on with Pete.
How's it going, good sir?
How is it going, good sir?
Well, it's going on my end if you're asking how I am.
Are you doing as good as me?
I try to do good, but I try to do less too, or it might bite us in the ass the next day.
Amen. Well, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I've been on here before. Been a minute.
I know you have. Everybody, this is Hammering Hoosier.
Yeah, burning down the house. Let's go.
Burn it down.
Yeah, hoorah, go fight, win.
So for those of you who aren't familiar with Hammer and Hoosier, you are in fact a Hoosier, are you not?
Yes, sir.
Well, you're basically like, have you ever heard of a jackalope?
Yes, I have. It's a made-up creature. It looks like a bunny rabbit with horns.
Just like a Hoosier.
That's
a made-up creature that nobody hears from on YouTube. So I do appreciate the jackalope for hanging out tonight.
Yeah,
calling in.
Yeah. Hey, no problem. Yeah, I've been called worse, which I take all the encouragement.
Well, I don't mean it. I don't mean it as an insult. It's actually, it's actually, I'm actually complimenting you.
Yeah.
Right.
That'll boost my, morale. So there we go.
Well, as a Hoosier fan, you are a Big Ten man.
Yes.
And we are coming down to the last, whatever it is, 7 or 8 weeks of talking season. So as a Hoosier fan, is there anything you'd like to talk about in the Big Ten? Let me ask you this. Let's go down the list here. That's good. Let's start. Name the top 3 teams in the Big Ten that you hate the most. Top 3 universities.
All right. Can you hear me?
I can now, yeah.
Okay. Ohio State.
What? Shocker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michigan.
Shocker.
And but Maryland don't have a dog in the race, when it comes to the top 3 teams in the Big Ten, but I just never liked Maryland.
Oh, you don't like the Turtles. You know what? It's funny about that. It's funny about the Turtles. They were in the ACC for almost 20 years.
Yes.
I never got why they were in the ACC. Clemson basically owned them, right? When they were in the ACC.
Big East, in my opinion, but
I think they belong in the Big Ten. But it's funny. I have never ever heard anybody, whether it's an ACC fan or a Big Ten fan, in my life say that they like what is it about Maryland that people hate so much? And I'm one of them too. I just don't even. I don't know why. It's just one of those things. It's like, oh, Maryland.
Yeah, I don't. They just put off a bad vibe.
Yeah, bad vibe.
Yeah. I mean, there's some more things I could say, but
well, you don't need to leave it bottled up. You can do it. You can expose all of your feelings right here. I'm like a therapist. Hammer and Hoosier. All right, we'll get through this together. Tell me how. Tell me about your feelings about Maryland.
I just cannot stand them. It's just the way the players are and the coaching. They're disrespectful. be respectful as I can be to anybody unless you disrespect me, you know.
Yeah.
You can just kick a can down the road and fall your ass into a well, but, you know, we'll just leave it at that. But, you know.
Do you have any problem with the fact that their helmets and their field looks like a Connect 4 game?
It does. It looks like something out of a fucking Harry Potter.
Yeah, you know that game Connect 4?
Yeah, I know what you're talking
it's
about.
It's yellow and red, like circles, and you drop them into a thing, and you just make different shapes, basically. I mean, the whole point of the game, for anybody who doesn't know, what you do know, is to get 4 in a row, like tic-tac-toe for retards. But the red and the yellow, you make all kinds of different configurations. It looks like a checkerboard, but you know, with red and yellow. That's what I feel like they had like some sort of special needs day at the University of Maryland, and they had a Connect 4 game, and somebody took a picture of it and then slapped it on the helmet.
Yeah, you nailed it right on the head. Yeah. There's a lot of things I could say about their little logo thing, but no, you got it right there. And when you was talking about the Big Ten, I would put Penn State in the mix, but I don't hate the university. But, you know, they're always at the top, you know, in the Big Ten. But, you know, I do like Golden Mountain beating SEC schools, though, Penn State, because they throttled Auburn last year, which held, you know, South Mississippi State could have done it too, but it was still fun to watch.
Leroy Jenkins says Connect 4 can be hard. Yeah, well, especially if you're from Maryland. It's really hard then. They have a hard time connecting 3, let alone 4.
Oh, yeah, they have a hard time wiping their ass with 2 hands, from what I heard.
Old Law Tide says that Penn State used to be a rival with Indiana.
Years ago, yes. Yeah. See, we did beat them during that COVID year, but we had a good season that year, but I think everybody did except Ohio State, but, you know, yeah.
I know I probably asked you this the last time you called in, but give me your feelings on your old head coach there. Kind of a polarizing figure.
Repeat that, sir.
I said, give me your feelings on the head coach at Indiana. Football head coach, not.
Well, it's not a football school, so he's doing the best he can, you know, but the thing is, he's a good coach, but he is too loyal, if you know what I mean, to his staff. Like, they could fuck up $1 million, but they'd still keep their job, and that bit him in the ass.
Yeah.
But he kind of changed his tune because the athletic director got in his ass and he started firing people, but he did it at the wrong time. He did it during the season when it was going instead of doing it in the off season to, you know, get a new staff and rebuild, you know, and regroup or whatever. But he's a good coach, and I do like his mentality, but he's too loyal. That's just what my take is on it.
Any chance he's on the hot seat anytime soon?
Yes, he is.
Well, hold on now. I would like to push back on that a little bit. No offense, but I don't know. Is every Indiana coach on the hot seat after 2 or 3 years? I mean, what is the threshold? Like, what's the expectation for a new coach at Indiana? Like, how long are you willing to give him, and what criteria do they have to meet before they're on the hot seat?
I will tell you what the expectation is, and this is sad, but I mean, he's building something, and he's getting good, good players and stuff or whatever. But to me, the expectation in the Indiana fan when it comes to football, beat Ohio State once every 10 years.
Damn. Once every 10 years. Jeez.
Yeah.
You somehow set the bar lower than a Gamecock. That's pretty hard to do.
Yeah.
Well, if a Gamecock coach beats Clemson, once out every 10 years, they give him a raise and an extension.
Yeah. Well, what it is, I hate to. I'm not. It's just a basketball school, and everybody's known Indiana to be basketball. Probably you. I mean, even though you probably don't follow them, but you hear Indiana, oh, hey, basketball. But, some people do. But, everybody follows whatever they like. But we haven't been Ohio State since 1989.
In football? 1989?
Yes, sir. During the Bill Mallory days when he was head coach.
That's an insane stat.
Yeah, and beat Ohio State, beat Michigan, and compete in the Big Ten. I mean, I'd like to see him go to the Big Ten championships, but our expectations, to get back to your question, make it to a damn bowl game and win it. And they've had success in football in the past, but by what I mean past, our grandparents were just kids when I say past. So
you don't have to go back that far. I mean, when I was younger, even in my teenage years and even early 20s, my dad, I grew up a Clemson fan. My older siblings that went to Clemson and all of that. And when Tommy Bowden was the head coach at Clemson, there came a point. He had been there for a while. I got tired of him. I wanted him gone, And I used to have these debates with my dad, and my dad would tell me, well, they've been to, like, the Clemson's whole thing, or Clemson's fans' whole, like, holding on to hope thing with Tommy Bowden was, well, he's been to 10 straight bowl games. And I'm looking around going, is that the standard here? Is that really what we're, like, holding our hat on, has been to 10 straight bowl games? I was like, I feel like this team is way better than that. Yeah. And nobody saw it until. Yeah. So I don't know. I guess the expectation versus reality is a mother effer. You know what I mean?
Well, see, Indiana football's schedule, I don't pay attention to the schedule toughness or none of that. I mean, they do have a tough schedule. They got like the eighth or 10th. It's in the 10 region, the top 10 region, the toughest schedule. But they do play Ohio State their first game out of the gate, and it's at IU. But I don't expect them to win the damn game. But I'd like to see them, just compete. But I mean, that's just how my expectation is with the program. But their coach, like I said, he is in the hot seat this year. But I mean, it boils down to money for one, but he does have the top 10 transfer portal class in the country too, or no, top 15. I'm sorry, and so we'll see what he can do. He got a bunch of transfers out of Texas A&M, Texas Tech, and TCU.
That's not a good thing. See, this is not a good look for all the transfer portal people.
No, it's not, and that's and I disagree with it, but.
Well, it's not about agreeing or disagreeing with it, but people that are like, oh, look who we got from the transfer portal. I'm like, show me a team that's out there building their team through a transfer portal that's been worth a shit ever, and the answer is zero.
Yeah, that's what they got Clemson transfers on there too. I'm thinking, well, yeah, they.
Yeah, virtually every Clemson
had a good school, but
virtually every player that's transferred from Clemson hasn't been worth a shit wherever they went. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, I said, well, it's like I've talked to, hey, we got players out of Clemson or LSU. Well, that's fine. Well, the motherfucker gets the shit knocked out of him playing Illinois or whatever, because they got an Auburn transfer last year. IU did, and he got his world rock playing Illinois.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking, well, that's a bench player. What do you expect?
Yeah, not that transfers don't have a place. They do. But 90% of the people that transfer out, they don't do any better where they went than where they transferred from. That's just, and that's the reason they're transferring out from where they're transferring from. I mean,
you know what I mean? And they get the media to hype people up so bad.
Yeah.
But then people turn on people and stuff and think, well, it's all in your head and you just believe what you read when you should just really look statistically, you know, what the hell's really going on. But, you know, people don't.
Yeah, the Joe Burrows of the world, the Jalen Hurts of the world, the Jordan Addisons of the world. I mean, anybody can come on here and say, well, this guy transferred and he was an All-American. This guy transferred, won a national championship. This guy transferred, got drafted top 10. Yeah, for every one of those guys, there's 1,000 guys who transferred and fell in their face. You never heard from again. Like that's the reality of the situation.
And that's the sad part about it too, because everybody's got potential, but they just, you know, let other things overthink, you know, what they really could do, you know, take their time, build themselves. But, you know, that's their decision. I mean, you know, it is what it is, but we'll see. But I do have tickets to go watch IU football play Louisville, and they're playing in Indianapolis at Lucas Oil Stadium. So we'll see what they'll do, you know. So
yeah, well, good luck to them. Before I let you go, let me ask you something.
Louisville's had.
Before I let you go and move on to the next caller, let me ask a serious question. So you've been following the news about this submarine that sunk, right? Looking at the Titanic.
Yeah.
You ain't heard about that? Did you hear about what's happening in Tennessee? Hello?
What's that?
So there's a new company called Tennessee Adventures, and they are offering free submarine rides to the bottom of the Tennessee River for anybody who wants to take a look at the goalpost that they sunk at the bottom of the Tennessee River after they beat Alabama last year.
Yeah.
Would you take that ride?
The only way I'd take a ride to the Tennessee River to see if Elvis is down there, since people. Figured you get a kick out of that one.
All right. Thank you, Hammer and Hoosier, for the call.
Yeah, you too, sir. And go IU.
All right. Go IU. Boy, if they offered a submarine ride to the bottom of the Tennessee River to look for that goalpost they dropped in there after they beat Alabama last year, I bet you there'd be at least 50, probably 100 Tennessee fans lined up on the banks of the river tomorrow, willing to risk their life to take that ride. Meanwhile, it's probably 3 feet deep.
Dying, right?
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! I'm in my underwear, and Tennessee hit a grand slam walk-off home run. What's up? You're on with Pete.
Hey, Pete. How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. I heard you talking about earlier. The YouTube chat's always full of shit. Well, I guess I'm the other 10% because I'm the Florida State fan that went ahead and sent you $50 and gave you the 2.5 on the pick'em.
Oh, yes, you did do that.
Hey, yeah, so I just want to let everybody know I'm not the other 90%. But I just want to know your thoughts. I know Uncle Lou did his video on the prediction for FSU. He had us at 11-1. I just wanted to get your thoughts on what you thought Florida State's season would look like.
Well, let's do this right now.
I'm not going to pull up the schedule or anything. I'm
about to. And we'll do this on the ACC show too.
I've tuned in a few times.
Yeah, if you watch the ACC, right now we're going through, from now until the start of the season, we're going through the ACC schedules and giving schedule predictions. I would like to tell you, though, and I think I've told you this before, last year I was the only person on the ACC show to pick Florida State to go 9-3. Everyone told me I was crazy. Everyone told me I was stupid, and at the end of the day, I was right.
And I mean, I might have called you crazy last year too, and I'm a Florida State fan.
Well, and I was the only one to
call you crazy.
I was the only one on the show, I believe, to pick Florida State to beat LSU week 1, and I was right about that too.
Man, so this schedule prediction I'm about to hear is probably going to be right on point.
Well, I'm not going to say that. I'm just saying I got lucky and figured it out last year. Let's see. Florida State Seminoles 2023 football schedule. Now, this is not the official prediction from Pigskin Pete because the only official prediction comes on the ACC show. I want to go ahead and give that disclaimer. But here's what I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this, but we'll run through it real quick and I'll give you my thoughts. Brief. And if you haven't been around here a long time, when I say it won't take long, it probably will take a long time. So there is that too. All right. So you start out the season again with Florida, with LSU. This time it's in, where is it? Orlando? Yeah.
Orlando, yep.
Camping World Stadium, I'm guessing.
I'll be in there.
You'll be there. Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
September the 3rd. What day of the week is that? That is
a Sunday.
Yeah, yes, the infamous Sunday kickoff game. Yeah. I don't know what's worse, a Sunday game or a Monday game. I don't like it.
Monday's Labor Day, so everybody's got the day off.
I know. That's when Clemson plays.
Oh, y'all play on Monday?
We play on Monday night at Duke. I don't like it.
Oh, I thought that was a Saturday game.
No, okay. It's a Monday night game.
Well, at least I got something to look forward to on Monday.
Yeah, I don't know if I have something to look forward to. But a shameless plug here. I will be streaming the game live right here on the Pigskin Pete YouTube channel. At Duke, so everyone can tune in and watch me either meltdown or meltdown more. I don't know which one. All right, 7:30, a night game, and it should be. This one's going to be one for the ages. If it's anything anywhere close to the game we saw last year in New Orleans, this game is going to be one for the ages. If I look back at the 2022 greatest games, it's very rare that you could say week 1 was one of the best games of the year. I even remember specifically watching that game between Florida State and LSU last year, and I believe towards the end of it, or during the last minute or so of it, I went on Twitter and said this is one of the greatest football games I've ever seen in my life. And it was. Yeah. And it ended up being...
I was in the end zone where they blocked the...
Oh, you were there?
Oh, yeah, I was there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's great. I don't expect it to be any different this year. I think the line is less than a point at this time. I don't know. It fluctuates from 2 points to 1 point to 1.5, up and down and up and down. I don't know what it is right now.
Yeah, so one thing to tell everybody, too, it actually opened up as Florida State -1.5.
Yes, that's right.
Swung all the way back to LSU. Like you said, it's going from like 2 to 3, 2.5, 1.5. It's going all over the place.
Yeah, and it's going to fluctuate up and down between now and then, too. We still have 8 weeks or so. But at the end, but when it comes down to it, it's still going to be less than a field goal either way. I don't know who's going to be favored at that point because we're still 8 weeks away. But it will be less than a field goal, which automatically lets you know it's going to be a good game. And based on the perception from last year's game, based on the perception of what Florida State is supposed to be this year, they're getting a lot of love in the offseason.
Yeah, I don't like it, but yeah.
And I know you shouldn't, because I believe the offseason hype, the players hear that, the coaches hear that. I don't necessarily think that's a good thing. You'd rather have the underdog mentality, especially if you're Florida State. But I also feel like the Florida State and LSU are sort of in the same boat in their conference. I'm not saying they're in the same boat nationally, but LSU is sort of like a darling favorite as far as the talent they have and the new coaching staff. There's high expectations, I think, from a lot of people from LSU in the West of the SEC, and there's a lot of high expectations and for Florida State and the ACC. So I feel like there's sort of.
What do you think the numbers next to the two teams are going to be? Because if I was doing mine, I would have LSU top 5, and I would love for Florida State to be anywhere from 9 to 12. But I think they're gonna have us higher than that. I don't like it.
Florida State is going to be ranked. Let me tell you something. Are you talking about the AP preseason poll?
Yeah, like when that game starts and the two teams are at the bottom of the screen, what do you think those two numbers are going to be?
I think Florida State will be top 5. I think, you know what? I think both of them probably be in the top 6. If I had to guess right now, I think it'll be Florida State 4 and LSU 5 or 6. So, and look, knowing this is a week 1 game, they want a top 5 matchup. Believe me. The AP does. You know, the voters. And so I think it'll probably be a top 5 or top 6 matchup. I'd say Florida State 4 or 5. I think LSU 5 or 6. Doesn't mean that's where they should be or where they are. I don't know. But it'll definitely be a top 10 matchup. That's all that really matters.
Yeah, it's just crazy because, like, you look at, like, I don't know how much people in here, like, look at blue chip ratio and stuff, but, like, LSU's like a top 8 team in blue chip ratio, and Florida State's, like, in the 20s. But with the past year, like I think their roster is so much more talented than ours. But they want to put us up there, great. I don't know. It makes me nervous, man.
Yeah, I don't think that Florida State should be in the top 5.
I don't either. I don't want to be in the top 5. I mean,
but it doesn't matter what I think.
I think we have a great season coming up. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm going to expect at least 10 wins. But, I mean, I expect the 2 losses to be LSU and Clemson. Now, I think they're going to be close games, and I think we could win both of them. But I don't know. I'll let you keep going.
Well, so I'm picking Florida. I think I've already done this multiple times, so it's not really like a shocker, or I'm not letting the cat out of the bag as far as where I think Florida State's going to win this game. I think Florida State's going to win another close game.
I love that.
So I'm picking the Noles to beat the Tigers week 1 in Orlando. The next week, Southern Miss. Florida State wins at 2-0. Next week, Boston College. Boston College is going to be hot doo-doo and garbage. So, I mean, I don't hate Boston College at all. It's not me, saying that Boston College is going to be terrible to make Clemson look better or to make look. They're just not good. That's just all there is to it. Boston College would be lucky to make a bowl. They'd be lucky to win 4 games. So that's going to be a bloodbath. It doesn't matter if it's in Boston College or not. So Florida State, in my mind, starts out the season 3-0.
Yeah, I mean, you have bet on this one, so I know your pick on here. I've got 50 on Florida State. You've got 50 on Clemson, so we can go ahead and go. All right, so you got us 3-1 here.
Yeah, we bet straight up, didn't we?
I gave you the 2.5. We just did straight up.
Thank you for being look. My man's being honest. He gave me the 2.5.
It's in your PayPal. We're at all the notes and everything.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. I need reminding. Look, I believe you. I know you're right. So in my mind anyway. So you think Florida State starting 4-0? I think Florida State starting 3-1 after the game in Death Valley.
So I think we lose. Like I said, I think we lose. I think we start the month off, that first month, 3-1. I don't know if we lose to Clemson. I don't know if we lose to LSU. Like I said, I could see us winning both.
That's fair.
But
yeah, that's fair.
My prediction would be to go 1-1 against Clemson and LSU.
I actually agree with that. I mean, on a realistic level, the reason I'm picking Clemson is because it's in Death Valley, and the reason I'm picking LSU to lose to Florida State is because it's in the state of Florida, even though it's not technically a home game, on campus game.
Yeah.
That's the reason I have the weight.
More fans there than them.
So I'm saying 4-0. You're saying 3-1. I could see 3-1. So far we're basically on the same page, right?
Yeah.
The Virginia Tech's a dumpster fire. That shouldn't be a problem. That's in Florida State and Tallahassee. You have another game against Syracuse. I already picked Syracuse to lose to Florida State by a big margin in my Syracuse prediction video. I mean, at this point, I've got Florida State being undefeated. I mean, another one, Duke at Florida State. No. Now this game is interesting to me. The Florida State and Wake Forest game on October the 28th.
Quarterback is.
I know. I'm picking Florida State to win that too.
Yeah, I mean, if Sam Martin was still there, I mean, he beat us the last 2 years. I would definitely question that. But now that he's gone, I don't even know who their guy is.
Now, out of all the games so far, other than Clemson,
Pittsburgh's my
Pittsburgh, and only because it's on the road in November.
It's gonna be cold, man. Them Florida boys aren't gonna like that.
Yeah, and I don't even know what to think about Pitt. Like they to me, like there's a lot of teams in the ACC that people, because every year there's a team or maybe one or two teams in every conference, not just the ACC, but we're talking about the ACC right now. There's one or two teams that come out of nowhere and have a great season. Like last year it was Duke. Like nobody even expected Duke to make a bowl game last year. They won 9 games.
Yeah.
Right? And so my point is that Pittsburgh is that team, or at least one of those teams in 2023 in my mind. I don't know. Look, here's the thing about Pitt. If they went 5-7, I wouldn't be surprised. If they went 9-3, I wouldn't be surprised. Like I have no idea what Pitt's going to look like.
Just a big question mark.
A big question mark.
And I do like, shout out, I'm on the YouTube as well. B-Bean said Pitt has Notre Dame the week before FSU.
Let me ask you something. Is that game in Pittsburgh a Friday night game? I'm seriously asking. I don't know.
I can pull it up right now. I don't know. I haven't gone that far.
I think it might be.
November 4th is a Saturday game.
Okay. That's good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Boston College game is their like bandana night, but I think that's the only.
Oh no, you got to play in Boston College in the but luckily it's still Boston College. They're no good.
Yeah.
The red bandana. Yeah, doesn't that suck to have to go to Boston College and play the red bandana game? Like really, I mean,
one of them before, but it was
because like, how do you root against Boston College at home on red bandana night? Like, if you do that, you're not American or something. They make you feel bad about it. It's like I want to go on YouTube and just trash Boston College and talk total shit about them. But they're like, we remember that guy that saved everybody in the Twin Towers, the red bandana. I'm like, oh shit.
Don't beat them too bad, boys.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ, man. It's like, anyway, so I'm still giving that to Florida State as well. Now this one here, November the 11th, everybody. This might be one for the ages. Now if you're a Miami fan or a Florida State fan, you're gonna tell me, Pete, it's always for the ages. Whatever. No.
It's not, though.
No, it's not always. But this year, it's going to be extra special. The game is in Tallahassee.
I'll go ahead and tell you, we have about 85% of our official visits for our biggest recruits on this weekend.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure that Miami does the same thing when they host the game, Yeah. This is great. Because these two teams here on November the 11th, and I love the fact that this is played later in the year and not week 4. It's going to be one of the biggest games in college football and one of the biggest games certainly in the Southeast and definitely in the state of Florida for all the reasons you just mentioned. I love this game, and also we're talking about respectively. Teams Miami and Florida State who are projected to finish anywhere within the top 3 of the ACC in this season. We'll see where the chips fall, but this is a big time game. Oh,
I'll be honest, man. I'm a lot more worried about Pittsburgh than I am Miami. I mean, I get that. 45 points last year at their place. I'm not.
Well,
I don't see with the pieces we added. And them adding almost nothing other than true freshmen. I don't know. As a Florida State fan, I'm just not worried. I mean, even in Vegas, we opened up as 17.5-point favorites.
I love this
game. Where you're coming from. It's a rivalry game.
Well, I get where you're coming from. Is what I'm talking about is the national perception, which is what really matters when it comes to polling and playoffs. You're talking about,
put them in the dirt again.
There's nobody other than people like me and you outside of the ACC that are looking and thinking that Pitt's a more interesting game than Miami. Like, that's just not the way people think.
Yeah.
But I totally understand where you're coming from with that. If I were you, of course, albeit in July or June, late June, I think that Pitt is more important game than Miami is right now too. Of course, we have no idea what that's going to look like later in the year, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter if Miami's 6-4 at the time of this game, and Florida State's 8-2. It doesn't matter if Florida State's 6-4 and Miami's 8-2. There's just something about Florida State and Miami that gets the fans of college football around the country pumped up. Whether or not
it's clear whether it's a 30-point game or a 2-point game every single year.
Right. So at this point, I believe that I only have Florida State losing one game.
Yeah.
To Clemson.
Me and you both, actually. I said LSU or Clemson,
yes.
And you said Clemson. So we're both on the same boat. So.
Then the North Alabama, cupcake game before the in-state rival week. Of course, I have you beaten Florida or North Alabama. And then you end the season with the biggest dumpster fire outside of the Gamecocks and all of the SEC.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that.
All the SEC East, however long that stays around. The Florida Gators. I got to give this to Florida State too. So I've only got Florida State losing one game.
So
to the Tigers.
This was going to be my follow-up. So I figured this would be it, right? So I wanted to give you a scenario. So in your scenario, we lose to y'all. Obviously, we would rematch in the ACC championship, right?
Yes.
Let's play devil's advocate and say it swaps. We go 12-0. And y'all go 11-1, and we meet again in the ACC championship.
The only thing that matters in that scenario is that whoever wins the ACC championship gets in the playoff.
So do you think if Florida State goes 11-1 and then beats Clemson in the ACC title,
they make the playoff? Yeah.
Clemson gets left out.
Yes. There's only look.
That is so tough, man.
There's only one ACC team making the playoffs. So
that's just gonna be a dagger, man. That's just a killer season.
Well, it is what it is, and that's why I said about where your games fall in the schedule matter, because you're much likely to lose a game early in the year, even if it's a bad loss, or not a bad loss necessarily, but to an inferior team. But you win your championship game. You win your big games like Florida and Clemson, or Florida and the ACC championship, but most likely against Clemson at the end of the year. Then you'll get in. There's not two ACC teams getting in.
People roasting me in the chat. I'm just putting out the scenario that if Florida State went 12-0 in the regular season and then lost a close game in the ACC championship and didn't get to the playoff, that's a dagger. I mean that hurts. And
it depends again.
Clemson went 12-0 and then lost to 11-1 Florida State, who they already beat earlier in the season, and then Florida State gets in and Clemson doesn't. That's a dagger, man. I mean, that sucks.
Of course, it's a dagger. It's a reality, though. I just don't see I mean, the chances of two ACC teams making it, and in order for all the stuff that we said that has to happen, would have to happen, you'd have to have two 11 or 12-win teams going into that game.
Yeah, I guess this is the argument for the 12-team playoff, right? That's ultimately what we're alluding to.
Yeah, the 12-team playoffs. We're talking about 14 playoff. Yeah, 12-team playoff, totally different story.
This is why people want the 12-team, I guess.
Yeah. But there's only one ACC team making it in. Or zero. There's either one or zero. There's not two. All of the things that would have to happen around the country for two ACC teams to make it in the playoffs would have to be ridiculous. I guess it's possible.
Yeah.
It is possible, though. I mean, we've seen crazy shit happen. It's not like it's impossible, but.
I mean, what if Florida State's, let's say they run the table and then lose to Clemson, but they beat LSU, who wins the SEC. I mean,
yeah, it doesn't matter.
That'd be a hard argument.
Doesn't matter. No. Beating LSU, you could beat them by 50. It wouldn't matter. It's too early in the year. You'd have to beat Clemson and win the ACC, or one of the two.
Man.
And the same thing for Clemson. It's not exclusive to Florida State. We're both in the same. We're both in the same boat here. That's why I say the game between Florida State and Clemson in Week 4 is one of the biggest games in college football of the season because it's an
247 put out a graphic of the top 20 games for the college football season. I believe Florida State and Clemson was number 2.
It should be because it's really a de facto elimination game. I mean, it might not be depending on how the chips fall, but most likely the loser of that game is out of it. As far as the playoffs are concerned, it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And it's early in the season, so that's a big one. I'm glad it's in Death Valley. That's all I can say.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah,
no doubt. My only hope is that Cade isn't, Trevor Lawrence or.
Yeah, I don't think he's Trevor Lawrence, but he doesn't really have to be though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm just playing,
Yeah.
the biased Florida State fan saying, I hope he's not Deshaun Watson or Trevor Lawrence.
Well, he's definitely not. And I'm a big Cade fan, but he's not that. But again, he doesn't have to be. At least, in my opinion.
No doubt. Hey, man, I really appreciate it. It was fun. And,
yes.
I'll be tuning back in. I'll let you get to your other callers. Thanks.
All right. Well, thank you, Harlan, for the call. Harlan Harris, everybody. What's up? You're on with Pete.
Hello.
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 So, I heard that you think that Florida State is beating LSU in Week 1.
Yeah, I mean, reasonably, the line is less than a touchdown. I mean, less than a field goal. So is that really that? I mean, it's not like it's not like LSU is a underdog by two touchdowns.
I'm an LSU fan, so
okay.
I think we're gonna win the game. Okay.
That's not unreasonable either. Again, the line's less than a field goal.
Okay. I mean.
Does it make you mad that LSU, that people are picking Florida State? I bet you thought they were going to beat Florida State last year too, didn't you?
It kind of does. When I first heard you say that you think Florida State is.
Well, I said it last year too, and people like you called in and told me I was stupid, didn't know anything about football, but I was right, wasn't I?
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever. But yeah.
Get a hold of yourself, man.
LSU is going to win the game. Okay.
That's great. Do you want to bet me?
I mean, what is LSU's a 2.5-point favorite, right?
Why do you sound like you're scared right now? You sound like your voice is quivering. Are you scared? Are you okay? Is everything all right over there?
I'm not scared, just like I wasn't scared before the national title.
You sound like you're shaking.
I was going to try to not bring up the national title game, but
Well, don't try to not do anything. Bring it up. What does that have to do with it? What does the national title game have to do with playing against Florida State next year?
Nothing. It doesn't have anything to do with it. But here's my take on why LSU is going to win the game. Okay, Florida State. Okay, you know who Harold Perkins and Mason Smith are, right? You know those two players.
I could name 18 players on Florida State. What's that got to do with your point?
Those are two of the best defensive players in the country. And Florida State did not see either of those players last year. And they're going to get a full dose of them this year. LSU is beating Florida State.
I mean, do you have some pom-poms? Actually, are they even playing in this game? Because there's so many sanctions on LSU right now. I don't even know how many of those players are eligible to play. Is Brian Kelly even eligible to play? Is Brian Kelly even eligible to coach?
And we're on probation. God. Whatever.
Yeah, how many players can be playing in that game? How many of them are sitting out a year or transferring?
Okay. Hey, you know LSU and Clemson are playing in 2025 and 2026.
Yeah, God willing.
can't wait till we beat your ass 2 more times.
Well, I don't know. I know you were probably about 6 years old at the time, but I was actually at the LSU and Clemson Chick-fil-A Bowl back in 2012.
Yeah, I know you guys won on a game-winning field goal. Yes, I understand.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, LSU was favored by like close to 2 touchdowns in that game. Guess how many times Clemson's been on probation since that game? 0.
Dude, what is us?
I don't know. You tell me. I'm not a fan of the team that's always on probation. You are.
It literally means nothing. It doesn't mean anything.
Of course, it means something. Otherwise, there would be.
It doesn't. It doesn't affect recruiting. It doesn't affect. It doesn't affect anything.
Why you sound like you're crying, bro? All right? Yeah, I'm here for you.
Okay.
I'm here for you. I'm your friend, James.
Yeah, Uncle Lou's not my friend, though. He blocked me on all his social media.
Oh, he did? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't. I'm here for you. If you ever need anybody to talk to about your emotional disability, I'm here to talk to you.
Okay.
Yeah. You shouldn't get so worked up about football. You sound like you're about to cry. I don't want to make people cry. I'm a lover, James. Not a hater. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm a lover. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
So what do you have? What's your rate? Have you done an LSU record prediction yet? I haven't been.
No.
Keeping up with.
No. Right now we're doing ACC predictions. So I guess that's what got you triggered is the fact that I only said because
I have LSU going 11-1 with a loss.
Of course you do, James. You're the only person on earth that has LSU going 11-1. You know that, right?
No, I'm not.
Okay, you and 3 other delusional LSU fans.
You know SG1 Sports, he has us going 11-1.
I don't know SG1 Sports. I've never seen his face before. And also, I don't watch video simulations of football games and consider that to be viable YouTube material.
He's one of the. Okay.
He's one of the what? He's one of the best simulators on YouTube? Yeah.
I'm on his Patreon page.
I'm sure you are. Because you watch LSU on his simulations beat everybody, so you joined his Patreon. God, he must have the best racket on YouTube going on. No, I should just start a goddamn channel where I watch simulations of 360 games. And when people get happy about their team beating somebody on a video game, they subscribe to their Patreon. You know what? Hats off to SG1 Sports. I'm doing something wrong over here.
And the statement that I'm the only person that has LSU going 11-1 that's just I don't know. It's just wrong. It's that simple. I mean,
hey, let me ask you a question.
You think it's a delusional statement that LSU is going 11-1?
Nobody thinks that. Again. You're the only one that thinks that.
Going 11-1.
Who does? Uncle Lou thinks that?
Yes.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
Where'd you see that? Did he make is that off of one of his preview videos?
That's on his LSU prediction video.
Oh, I'm gonna have to have a conversation with Uncle Lou. There's no fucking way on planet Earth that Uncle Lou thinks that LSU is going 11-1. No way. There's no way.
LSU is a good team. LSU is better than Clemson going into next year.
No, I know.
What do you have against LSU that we beat your ass in the national title game? I don't. That Joe Burrow owns Trevor Lawrence. I don't know what.
I said right foot creep, walking with it. beat 'em. Look around, stay low, make sure they don't see you. Get some bad, walk down, face 'em with the heater. The devil under your feet, you're on your way to see him. Stretch me when I can't sleep, bang out when I see you. Play with me, you can't sleep. We got into the C-shoe. You won't have no case, rearrange your shape soon as they face you. You won't have no space, we in your section too.
Oh, I just got a message from SG1 Sports Patreon. He got my Dynasty file ready.
Yeah, nobody. Let me tell you something. Just like nobody believes that LSU's going 11-1, nobody gives a shit about SG1 Sports Patreon page. Nobody, except for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can look it up right now. SG1 Sports has us beating Alabama and Florida State, but losing to Ole Miss
Christ.
and going 11-1.
Let me ask you a question. If SG1 Sports pulled down his pants and told you to suck his dick, would you do it?
Sure. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure you would. What's up? You're on with Pete.
Well, that was a delusional call. This is Nate the Great, by the way.
What's up, Nate?
What's up? Now, to answer to that question, I wouldn't because I'm not gay. And I'm not transgender either. So my conversation is, or topic, is the top 5 coolest mascots in college football. Even though the ballot says coolest names, but what's the coolest mascots you think? Top 5.
You mean the coolest? Well, mascot. Are you talking about the person in the fake suit? Or are you talking about just in general the best mascot?
On the field, like the big logo.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I'm partial to the Tulane Green Wave because Somerville, the city I grew up in, is also the Green Wave. You know, the home of AJ Green and several other NFL players, and the home of the winningest football coach in the history of football at any level, John McKissick. Somerville Green Wave. Yeah. So I like the Green Wave.
Yeah.
Let me see here. That's a good question. I like the Beavers because who doesn't like Beavers? You know what I mean? I mean, let me ask you a question, Nate. Nate, you're a red-blooded American male. If you had to choose between the Cocks and the Beavers, which one do you like more, Cocks or Beavers?
Beavers.
Yeah, my man. Beavers.
Can't stand Cocks.
Yes. Let's see. Outside of that, I do like some of the Devils. I'm not the Blue Devils because that's weird.
The Green Devils? I don't know.
Yeah, Green Devils. Well, that's not. There's no Green Devils in college ball, is there? No.
Well, except for high school, that's bad.
I do like the Bengals, even though that's a tiger, Bengal tiger.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I do think it's a cool name, yes, because there's a lot of tigers. I mean, tigers, bulldogs.
That's common, yeah.
Yeah, common and also high school, college, professional. Like tigers is one of the most, but there's not many Bengal tigers.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I like the Bengals.
Is Wolverines rare or is it common? I don't know.
Oh, you know what? That's a good one too. Actually, the Wolverines is a good one. I do like that.
Yeah.
Cornhuskers is just weird.
I mean, it's rare, but it
I mean, I get it. It's definitely region specific or state specific.
I know.
But still, Cornhuskers.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I mean, I've shucked corn in my kitchen before. Does that make me a Cornhusker? No.
I don't know.
No, I've never husked.
Nebraska.
I'm not a Cornhusker.
But I can give you a rant about that name about Nebraska or Nebraska. I don't know. But I don't know if you know this or anything. It's kind of funny. Nebraska mascot or name or whatever you call it. Yeah, mascot. Now, it's not the Cornhuskers currently. They used to be the Bug Eaters.
The Bug Eaters?
Yeah, not even kidding. They used to be the Bug Eaters. Nebraska Bug Eaters.
Oh, wow.
That's even weirder.
Real quick, thank you, Harlan Harris, for the super chat. He says, thanks for having me on. Sorry we shook the LSU Tiger fan base having a reasonable conversation. No, don't be sorry. Thank you for your support. Banana slugs.
Damn. I don't know if that's an animal or not. What else? Oh, honey badger. I think that's rare for a team name. A honey badger or honey badgers.
I like the Badgers. That's a good one too. I also like the Trojans of USC.
Ooh. Is there any?
There's no other. There's not a single other team out there named after a condom. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I wish there was a team name or a college that is the team name is the Gladiators.
I think there is.
But I think that's a good name. Oh, who would win in a fight, a Trojan or a Gladiator?
Yeah, that's a good one. Oh, no, the Spartans is a good one. Ohio State man says the Spartans. That's a good one. Yeah, Spartans versus the Trojans. I mean, that was a real fight that happened, I believe, in history.
It did?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Spartan versus the Trojans. Haven't you seen 300, bro?
Well, the Persians and the Spartans versus each other, but we all know that happened. But I want if we can go back in history, I want to see a bunch of gladiators teaming up, going against Trojans.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at Tiger Baskins. Oh.
What's he doing now?
Nothing.
You see that grandma's house? I'm worried. But anyway, I'm currently looking at, well, not current right now, but I was looking at flights until you got.
Yeah, just text me about that. We won't talk about that on the call-in show, Nate.
Okay.
Yeah. November. What do we say? 8th through. Anyway, I'll talk to you off air about that.
Right.
Yeah.
You
All
want
right.
to do it afterwards? Okay, but wait. But
yeah.
Have a good morning and a amazing and fantastic night.
All right. Thank you, Nate. All right, everybody. That's going to do it for the call-in show tonight. Everybody, thank you for joining the show. Thanks for all the callers. We had some amazing and fantastic calls tonight. Thanks for all the people that sent in Super Chats, PayPals, and some of the new members. You're all what keeps these shows going year-round. Man, I can't wait till the season starts. I really can't. And I know a lot of you can't either. I'll be back Monday at 11 a.m. for the midday show. You may see some videos from me over the weekend. I don't know. But everybody have a safe and amazing and fantastic weekend. And I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody. Your boy is checking out.